We all spend years, sometimes even decades, of our lives in school. But have you ever stopped to think about what the real return is on all that time and money? Is it just about landing a better job, or is there something much, much bigger going on? Well, today, we're going to break down the true value of education, both for you as an individual and for all of us as a society.
I mean, it's the question we've all asked ourselves at some point, right? Maybe you're staring at a student loan statement, or you're deep into a late night study session, and you just wonder, was all this really worth it? It's a fair question. And it turns out economists have a couple of really useful ways to think about the answer.
So it really boils down to two ways of looking at education. On one hand, you can see it as a consumption good. That's just a fancy way of saying it's useful right now, in the moment. It gives you the immediate ability to read a street sign or understand the utility bill. But the much more powerful way to frame it is as an investment good. This is the idea that you're putting in resources now, time, money, effort, because you expect a much bigger payoff down the road. And that's where the story gets really interesting. All right, so let's start with the most direct question of all. What's in it for you? What is the actual, personal, tangible return you get for investing all that time and energy into your own education? This brings us to a really core concept called human capital formation. Now, we usually think of capital as things like money or factory machines. But human capital, well, the asset is you. It's all the knowledge, all the skills, all the experience that's built up right inside your own head. So every single class you take, every new skill you master, you are literally building your own personal capital. So why is that such a big deal? Well, here's the crucial link. All that human capital you're building makes you more productive. You can solve more complex problems, you can create more value for an employer, and because of that, you can command a higher income in the future. It's a pretty direct path. Investing in your skills leads to being more productive, which in turn leads to better pay. Okay, but that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? If education is an investment, just like buying a stock or a house, how can you possibly know if it's a good one? Well, thankfully, there's a pretty rational way to think it through. You can kind of break it down into three simple steps. First, you've got to add up all the costs. And this isn't just tuition and books, by the way. It's also the time you spent studying, and this is a big one, the wages you could have been earning if you were working that whole time. Second, you estimate the benefits, which is mostly the extra income you expect to earn over your entire career because you got that degree or certification. And finally, you make the call. If those expected lifetime benefits are greater than the costs, it's a green light. It's a good investment. This quote really hits the nail on the head. That over and above part, that extra salary you earn compared to someone who didn't get that education, that's your return on investment. It's the premium you get for taking the time to build up your human capital. Okay, so we've seen the personal payoff. But the story doesn't stop there, not by a long shot. Now let's zoom out. What happens when it's not just you, but millions of people who are all investing in their education? What's the dividend for society as a whole? And this is such a powerful idea. Your decision to go to college or get that technical certification, it isn't just a private, personal transaction. It actually creates ripple effects that benefit absolutely everyone, generating a return for the entire economy. And when you look at the data, it's crystal clear. There is a really strong positive link between how educated a country's population is and how much its economy grows. As one goes up, the other tends to follow. A highly educated population isn't just a collection of successful individuals, it's literally the engine of a prosperous nation. So how does that actually work? Well, think about it. A more educated workforce is way better at research and development, which leads to amazing new technologies. It increases the whole country's productivity. It sparks the new ideas and innovations that solve our biggest problems. Economists have a term for this: positive externalities. These are benefits that spill over and help people who weren't even part of the original investment. And the benefits go way beyond just dollars and cents. A well-educated population is better equipped to participate in a democracy, to understand complex issues, and to contribute to a stable, functioning society. It's really the bedrock of our strongest institutions. But what if there's an even deeper way to look at all this? One that goes beyond just personal income and national GDP. This is where we get to something called the human capability approach, an idea most famously championed by the economist Amartya Sen. This idea really shifts the entire focus. From this point of view, the goal of education isn't just to make you a more productive worker. It's about making you a more capable human being. It's about expanding what you are truly able to do and who you are able to be,
It's about human development, period.
Let me put it another way. Education gives you agency. It's what helps transform you from someone who just has things happen to them into an active agent who can actually shape their own life, their family's future, and the community they live in. It empowers you to create real change.
And this kind of empowerment has these profound real-world effects. It gives people what Sen called substantive freedoms, not just freedom from bad things, but the freedom to do amazing things, like start a business or participate in local government. It's a critical weapon in the fight against inequality and poverty, allowing people to fully engage in their communities and create social progress, not just economic growth.
So let's bring it all home. We've looked at the personal angle, the economic angle, and this deeper idea of human potential. How do all these pieces actually fit together to give us the full picture?
Well, what you end up with is this incredible virtuous cycle, a reinforcing loop. Your personal investment leads to you having a higher income and better skills. That in turn helps fuel broader economic growth and a stronger, more stable society. And of course, a stronger, wealthier society can then invest more in education, creating even more opportunities for individuals to succeed. You see, each side just keeps feeding the other. And that right there is the key takeaway. This isn't a zero-sum game at all. Investing in your own education isn't some selfish act. It's actually one of the most powerful things you can do to create shared value, paying dividends not just for you, but for everyone around you. So that leaves us with a really crucial question for the world we live in today. With AI and automation rapidly changing the nature of work, what's the smartest investment we can possibly make in our most valuable asset, our shared human capital? What are the skills and capabilities that are going to matter most for the future we're all building together? It's something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.